So in these 10 years, what are kind of the major trends that you've seen, and where is it heading the next 5 years, do you think?
Well, I'm not a great crystal ball gazer.
You're
but,
not Nostradamus. You're a master of wine. Come on, you're kind of
I
close.
wish I could see the future. I mean, but
Italian Wine Travel with Stevie Kim.
Welcome back. My name's Stevie Kim, and this is once again the Grandi Langhe Marathon coming to you live here for the second year in a row. And right now, here with me, Master of Wine, Tim Marson. Is that correct?
Tim Marson is my name, yes.
Yeah. So, he was a recent guest. He was interviewed. He did a pod with Giuliana Colangelo. But I must say, I have some beef with you about that because your audio was absolutely horrific. So I wish, there was...
I blame the technology.
Yeah, it was terribly interesting. I'm going to have to ask him some of the same questions, I think, because it was very interesting. And what is your role exactly?
So my official title is Category Director for Italian wines. I also do French wines and spirits. So I'm essentially a buyer for wine.com.
Wine.com,
Yeah.
the small fact, right? So tell us a little bit about wine.com for those who are less familiar, if you can believe it.
So wine.com is the US's leading pure play online wine retailer. So we operate out of 6 warehouses across the country, serving customers in 42 states. Out of a possible 50, of course.
What happened to those 8 states?
They won't let us in, sadly.
Okay.
The Byzantine rules, as you're well aware, prevent us from shipping wine to customers in those states. But we think we access about 95% of the US population of wine drinkers.
So can you give me, contextualize in terms of numbers, like how many SKUs and how much of that is Italian?
So we have about 15,000 wines from all around the world on the site. We also have some spirits as well. In terms of numbers, Italy is probably about 50 to 20% of that in terms of numbers of wines and amount of sales across the board.
And how much of that is Piedmont then? You're
it's-
here, so I think
yes.
it's quite important, right?
It's about a third of that is Piedmont in terms of sales.
Oh.
Obviously, most of that is all on the value, the revenue end.
Not in volume,
Not in volume,
obviously.
of course. So obviously a lot of the volume is driven by Pinot Grigio, by Prosecco, and to a lesser extent Tuscany, which is kind of by far the biggest region for us.
So what are kind of the trends that you see, the recent trends for Piemonte wines, for wine.com specifically?
In terms of sales, we've always been strong in Barolo, but most of the revenue is driven by the high-scoring wines, which tend to be the true wines from Barolo and Barbaresco. But we have such a wide assortment of wines, so we have all the interesting things like Bella Verga and Timorasso, as well as the big name DOCGs.
So, this might be a very banal question, but how does a wine get to be sold on wine.com? What is the process? Is there a specific protocol that the producers need to be aware of?
So the most important thing is that they have an importer and distributor in the states where we operate. So we like to think of ourselves as a 3-tier e-commerce business, which means that we are buying through the 3-tier system. We like to leverage what the distributors have in stock and open that up to our very wide customer base. So we're basically buying small quantities of a very large number of different wines rather than the inverse. So the large quantities of a small number of wines. So very different from a traditional bricks and mortar retailer. It's more like the Amazon approach, where we kind of offer everything and let the customer choose, and we help them to find what they're looking for.
So you're here and you're looking for wines, but you don't actually make the acquisition. You don't acquire for them, purchase from them directly. Is that correct?
On the whole, no. The opportunity here is to connect with the wineries directly, because obviously we're working with their US representatives. And so to get to meet the winemakers, to meet the principals, to taste the new vintage, to appreciate what they do more firsthand, helps us improve our assortment and have a better relationship and communicate that onto the customer.
So I know it's a question that Julian had asked you during the pod. What is the average price of the wine.com sales and typical, purchase?
It's around $35 a bottle.
So
which
that's quite high,
it's
actually.
very high. I mean, they're
Right?
about 3 times the national average for retail. So we are very much a kind of premium luxury business. Our customers gravitate towards the better wines. That doesn't mean we don't sell a lot of less expensive wine, but we also sell quite a lot of very expensive wine. Because we open up access to these wines, it's very easy to buy from us. It's easy to have wines shipped to customers' doors. It means that when you offer this, then they discover it and they find it, and we have a very wide spread of price points.
Of course, these are challenging times, right? So, and I reckon also with wine.com. So how are you addressing, the foreign exchange fluctuation, the tariffs, the less consumption in general? How are you addressing all of these issues as wine.com?
Well, because we are part of the 3-tier system, operating as we do, we are kind of at the mercy of how importers and distributors manage those pricing, the pricing challenges. So tariffs, foreign exchange rates, that is up to them to kind of negotiate. And we see a very wide range of approaches. Some have been able to absorb it completely, others have passed it through completely. So we see a wide spread. There's little that we can do. Our job is to kind of present the best value we can to our customers. And so we aim to be very competitive across the board, not just with the kind of the everyday wines, but with fine wines as well. And so the opportunity is to not only kind of present value, but also to present content and material and information so customers can make informed decisions so that they can feel the best value from purchase to glass.
So how long have you been working for wine.com?
It'll be 10 years this April I've been there, so
Wow.
quite a long time. Yeah.
And prior to that, what were you doing?
I was working for a couple of other small companies in the US, focused on the kind of, not winery direct to consumer, but to shipping wines direct to people's homes.
So you were always based at stateside?
Nope, I moved there in 2011.
Okay.
So my first part of my career was in the UK, where I'm from originally, as you can tell. So I was based in London. I was working for retailers, both large and small, importers, distributors, and then moved out to California in 2011.
So like in these 10 years, what are kind of the major trends that you've seen, and where is it heading the next 5 years, do you think?
Well, I'm not a great crystal ball gazer.
You're
but,
not Nostradamus? You're a master of
not.
wine. Come on, you're kind of
I
close.
wish I could see the future. I mean, but we live in unprecedented times at all levels, and so trying to predict the future is a fool's game. But certainly the last 10 years or the last 15 years since I've been in the country, I've seen a huge amount of change, especially in the last 5 since COVID happened. We see a huge spike in e-commerce in general, but particularly with wine, which have been lagging behind other categories. So this huge spike when people were stuck at home, they suddenly realized, some of them didn't realize you could buy wine online and have it shipped to your door. So we earned a lot of new customers during that first year or two of COVID. And then since then, it's been a kind of a return to kind of the new normal, which is not really normal anymore. And all the other challenges that represents with a kind of a declining market for alcoholic beverage in general. So coming to terms with all those kind of things, it's been a kind of a wild ride to see all these changes, kind of consistent growth, and then a sudden spike, and then a kind of a reset. And it challenges us all to kind of think in new ways and be innovative and to serve the customer better than ever.
So, how many wines do you taste during the year?
Not as many as you'd think. I mean, as I said, we sell 15,000, we offer 15,000 wines on the site. I'm responsible for about 6,500 of those. If I tasted all of those every year, I would not have any time for any work, and I'd have a very expensive dental bill. But
and liver.
Exactly. So it's certainly in probably the low thousands, certainly in the high hundreds. I taste it. Obviously, an event like this, I'm tasting like 100 wines a day, but I also judge at competitions when you're tasting that number a day. So it racks up pretty quickly.
So is there something like you've discovered here, say like, wow, I never had tasted this wine and I would love to have this in my portfolio?
I mean, there are always discoveries at an event like this, whether it's new producers, some varieties. I tasted an appellation I never heard of earlier today. So,
which one?
Now I'm going to, it's between Barolo and Langhe with Arnais and Nebbiolo, and I'm going to blank on the name right now. I need to check my notes down there. But I'd never heard of it before, and that's the joy of Italian wine. It's like always discovering it. No. Colli.
Whatever.
But I'll dig it out. But that's the fascinating thing. It's like, well, you think you know Italian wine, there's always something new to discover. There's a region, a variety, an appellation, a DOCG no less, that I'd never come across before, and the wine was delicious. So that's the fun of Italian wine.
And I
Always
know
learning.
it's completely unfair, but what is your favorite Piemonte wine?
I mean, I hate picking out single producers or single wines, but since coming to this event for the first time last year, appreciating Nebbiolo in all its forms is a non-stop kind of joy. And even in a challenging vintage like 2022, the fact that I've tasted so many great wines from that vintage today, against the odds, just shows you that, especially in the Langhe Hills, what it can produce is otherworldly. And the fact that it can't be replicated beyond Piemonte to anywhere near the same level of complexity and finesse is a testament to this triumphant marriage of variety and place.
So on a personal note, what is it that you're against social media? Because your digital imprint is quite almost non-existent.
Deliberately so.
Well,
Yeah.
LinkedIn, you're on LinkedIn, so everyone go attack him on LinkedIn. But he's very slow.
Yes.
Even at that.
Right.
So what is the rationale behind?
It's
not
a
being-
personal choice. I'm a very private person, so I
Yeah.
like to keep my life private, and I like to keep my social life and my professional life quite distinct, which is why I have LinkedIn, but I don't like to have that crossover with my personal life. But also, as a professional buyer, it pays to be kind of reserved and keep yourself to yourself,
Distant, yeah.
because you have a lot of people coming to you,
Yeah,
and
of course.
if you're too out there with your stuff, then it makes your life very difficult. So
Right.
it's part and parcel of being a buyer. You have to kind of hold your cards close to your chest, and that follows through to my
Okay.
zero social media.
Okay,
footprint.
well, thank you for joining us
course,
today.
great to be here.
That was Tim Marson, Master of Wine, the category director of Italian and French and spirits
And spirits. Yeah.
for wine.com. And no, he's unavailable in social media. The only way you can find him is through LinkedIn. That's what I had done originally. So thank you very much, and hope to see you next year.
Likewise.
Okay, alla
you.
prossima.